What's up guys, it's Sebastian here with Strength Stuff. I know I haven't posted a video in a while, as I'm sure you can see. I'm in a new place. Now I'm back up in Waterloo for school in the summer, so I had a lot of moving to do, a lot of getting back accustomed to things, getting in my routine. So I haven't filmed a video in a little while, and now that I'm back with my Uncharted 4 review. Now I'm a huge Uncharted fan, as many of you guys know, and so this review is going to be kind of a big deal for me. Now, I've given it a couple days to stew over it. I beat it on Friday. It is now Monday when I'm filming this. Because there was a lot that I had to kind of unpack and figure out my feelings towards when it ended. Because in many instances, I love it, think it's just absolutely fantastic, but there's something missing. I don't know what it is. And I thought that maybe with these couple of days, I would be able to put my finger on it, but it hasn't been the case. But now I think I'm kind of dancing around what I think the problem is. I'll kind of start from the beginning and maybe give you guys a better idea of where I'm coming from. Now, this game is just unreal. And when I had launched the game and I played it, the first fundamental red flag that I kind of had was when you press start, Sony Computer Entertainment America, Naughty Dog, and then the Uncharted start menu. And there was no Uncharted theme song. It's just a skeleton in a cage and you just swinging side to side. Very Last of Us. And I thought, okay. So this has kind of set a precedent. This is what I'm going to expect. I'm going to expect this very same tone throughout the entire game. Now, the game is heavily an emotionally based story, which I'm super gung-ho for. Plays with the relationship between Nate and his brother Sam, who's been gone all these times. Bear in mind, this is a spoiler-filled review. I'm going to get into all the nitty-gritties. You're going to find out everything. And so if you haven't gone and played it, vamos, go play it, and come back. So you start off as a kid. Well, you start off in the boat. You get knocked off. You find out some of the experiences between Sam and Nate in the orphanage. Get some kind of backstory there. And then the story progresses. You see Sam dies, which was really undercut by the fact that he was in all the promotional work, so you knew he didn't actually die. So that was kind of one of the pitfalls, I guess, of the story. And then you go and you go to try to find the lost city of Libertalia, the pirate reserve, this grand pirate city. And the story itself is a very interesting premise. It doesn't deal with like the mystical elements like Uncharted 2, 1, and 3 kinda did, which I'm completely okay with. Keeping a little more grounded, not going to that supernatural element in the third act, and then saying, oh wait, but it's not all that supernatural, is a good thing, and I'm kind of glad that they kind of steered away from it. As far as the characters go, everyone brings their absolute A game. This is probably the most emotionally charged Uncharted game of them all, and that's kind of where my big gripe with it comes, because you can see the influences of The Last of Us in this game, but the problem kind of arises in that Uncharted Last of Us balance, where the emotional stuff isn't as effective as it was in The Last of Us. I wasn't as emotionally invested in these characters as I was with Joel and Ellie in The Last of Us, and then the Uncharted moments weren't as Uncharted-y. There wasn't grand set pieces. My favorite things from Uncharted are the set pieces, the plane going down Uncharted 3, the boat capsizing, the helicopter attacking you on the train. Very memorable moments, and this game was kind of shy, or didn't kind of cut back on those moments, and the times that they did implement them, I don't know if they were implemented as well, because it kind of felt like I was in a ride, and I wasn't actually engaging with it. It was just kind of happening around me. Like, well, with the Nadine fights, you don't really have any control over those. The really cool scene where you jump on Sam's motorcycle right after the Madagascar chase, one of the coolest scenes in the game, and you really have nothing to do in it but kind of hold the fire button and kind of spray at the vehicle. So in that regard, again, the balance is off, and I think that's kind of the underlying theme of why I don't love it as much as I would like to, because it's emotionally, they try to make a game very emotional in its tones, and it's very effective, but it's not as effective as The Last of Us, and the Uncharted moments aren't as pure Uncharted as previous entries in the game. So we're continuing going on with the villains. You have Rafe and Nadine, both very, very good, very capable villains, but the dynamic here is kind of lost. Because once you find out, so you're hooked into the story with Sam saying, oh, this big Mexican, or I'm not sure what, it was a big drug cartel, was broke me out of prison, and I have to help him find Libertalia, or he's gonna kill me. So Nate's forced to get back into the game. Turns out Sam was lying the whole time, and Rafe was actually the one that got him out, and then Sam betrayed Rafe. So it kind of convolutes the villainy of Rafe, because he kind of didn't do anything wrong until Sam kind of fucked him over. And so you kind of shift the villainy perspective to Nadine, because she's kind of a huge bitch. And it really works, because I found her very irritating. I find she's a very effective villain, because I was like, I hate you. And every time you come into altercations with her, you never really get the catharsis of actually beating her in the fight or getting any kind of upper hand in the situation. She always some kind of stumbles on top, and Nate never really gets a triumphant type victory against her. And then the end of the game comes, and then Rafe and her are in the boat, and she tries to kind of one-up him, and Rafe kind of punks her back into her place. No, listen, you're paid by me. You need to sit down and do what you're told. Which I was like, awesome, okay, good. Now I'm starting to get this kind of, Rafe's actually the mastermind villain, and she is subordinate, and I need to get some kind of catharsis. And that was like the first little inkling of catharsis I got from her character, from playing as Nate. And then the ending came, and then they kind of shoehorned Rafe as being the central villain. He went all crazy with the sword, and Nadine betrays him and then leaves the boat. Never to be seen or heard of again. So they kind of built her up, and all is a big pressure cooker of like, I don't really like you, I don't really like you, you need to get your just desserts, I want catharsis. And then I didn't get it. And when I'm fighting Rafe, I'm thinking like, you're not really like the villain that I don't like. I kind of sympathize with a lot of your motivations. So you going all crazy and fucking hacking at me with a sword doesn't seem like it fits. I should be facing Nadine. That's how I felt. But the game overall, I know I'm sounding really negative. It's not the case whatsoever. I fucking love this game. It's probably some of the best gameplay I've ever played, the best visuals, most attention to detail. One of the coolest moments in this game for me was when you're in Madagascar and you're driving the SUV, with the 4x4. And Sully was talking to me, and I saw something that was really interesting in the corner. I was like, oh fuck, I want to go check that out. And I got out of the car, and he stopped talking, and then I ran and I explored, and I'm like, fuck, I really wish I knew what he was saying. I shouldn't have got out of the car. And then I get back in the car, Nate starts the car, puts it into gear, and as we start driving, and then Nate goes, Sully, what was it that you were just saying? And I was like, get the fuck out. Like, that is the most natural moment in a video game I've probably ever experienced. And this game is full of those kind of natural, tender moments, especially with Nate and Elena progressing towards the end of the game. The chapter, for better or worse, is probably one of the best Uncharted chapters I've ever played. Has my best Uncharted moment ever when you're driving just that very tranquil path with Elena after you take the elevator. So there's a lot to love about this game, and I love it dearly. The reason why I'm seeming so critical is because Uncharted is such a passionate topic for me. I really love this series, so when something doesn't feel right, it's like exemplified times 100 because I'm into it so much. The multiplayer component, I love Uncharted multiplayer. It's my favorite. It's the multiplayer I've sunk the most hours into, and this game is no exception. The multiplayer here is phenomenal. It definitely changes the balance in terms of individual play to team play, which I guess fits into the theme of Uncharted, although it can be frustrating when your team is a bunch of jabronis that just kind of fuck around and don't help you or get downed consistently. And when you go to help them, you revive them, but when you're down, they don't reciprocate, kind of thing. So it can kind of become contradictory in that respect. One thing I do like is the way in which you unlock things. You essentially unlock things in the game by playing the game. It seems like the most natural video game type trope, and it's not really seen as much. So to get the next long gun, you just have to continuously get downs with the long gun before it. So if you want the FAL or whatever, you need to get like 150 AK downs. So you get rewarded for playing the game consistently, and that's what I like as someone who plans on playing the game consistently. So overall, the multiplayer is phenomenal. The game itself is phenomenal. Although it is lacking in that Uncharted grandiose atmosphere. The set pieces aren't as great as they could be, and the emotional moments aren't as great as some of Naughty Dog's previous games, but that's not to say that they're not great. Overall, I'd give this game like a 9.5 where it stands in terms of Uncharted 1, 2, 3, and now 4. I really, really love Uncharted 3, and I'd put it probably tied for that first place spot. The reason why it does the gameplay itself better, but the set pieces and some of the emotional things kind of fell a little flat for me. So I have it tied with first place. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about it, because I've been reading a lot of reviews on like Reddit and on the comments section on GameSpot and IGN to see what a lot of people think. And this seems to be a kind of general theme where people feel like it's not as Uncharted as previous entries, and it's kind of throwing people for a loop, and they're not sure why they feel that way. So it's kind of the conclusion I've come to, that it's not as emotional as The Last of Us, and you can see that influence heavily in it, and it's not as grand in scale as previous Uncharted. So it's kind of stuck in this middle ground where it doesn't quite do this as well, and it doesn't do this as well. Curious to hear what you guys think. I'm going to be having some multiplayer footage coming up, so be sure to subscribe so you can see that. Comment in the comments section below, and thanks for everything, guys. Take care.